Another form of conditioning that we more commonly see is operant conditioning. Behaviors, which gives the idea that behaviors are maintained by consequences. If a behavior is reinforced, this is more likely to increase the behavior. If the behavior is punished, it is more likely to decrease it. It's a cost-benefit system. If the behavior has a higher cost, it's less likely to continue. If the behavior has a higher benefit, it's more likely to continue. This is also seen through shaping, which is reinforcing successive approximations to the goal. It's the idea that you have a main goal and you reinforce each little step that's getting you closer to that main goal. This is also related to the social learning theory. Many of our punishers and reinforcers come from people within our own lives. Behavior is also learned through modeling. This is the monkey see, monkey do concept. To get a better idea of operant conditioning, we're going to play a quick game to see just how powerful punishers and reinforcers are. So first off, what I need is a volunteer to step outside the classroom. You can pause this video to get that person figured out, and then resume it once they're outside of the classroom and can't hear what's going on inside. Okay, so are they outside? Great. So now, as a class, what you need to do as a whole is pick whatever behavior you want them to learn. A new behavior. So this could be something like turning on and off the light switches. It could be sitting in the chair and swiveling around. It could be getting underneath one of the tables. Any sort of thing that's a behavior that, a new behavior that they don't know yet that you want them to learn. So go ahead, pause the video and figure that out. Alright, now, once you have that figured out, what you're going to do, not yet, but what you're going to do is bring them back into the classroom, and as they get closer to figuring out this behavior, you're going to applaud them. As they move further and further away from the behavior, you boo them or make disapproving sounds when they're doing the opposite of what you want and what you're trying to shape. If they aren't moving towards or away from the goal, make sure you just stay silent. And once they get the learned behavior, make sure you cheer and say, "You got it," and let them know. So go ahead, pause the video, bring the person in, and go ahead and play the game and see how well it works. Alright, how did that go? Can you think of ways that we'd make daily reinforce or punish other people's behaviors, or how those people around us influence our own behaviors? Pretty interesting, and we don't often take the time to think about it. Another important concept in behavioral theory is cognitions. This is where CBT often comes in. Cognitive behavioral theory, which was developed by Ellis and Beck, who emphasized that change in behavior results from a modified attitude. Thoughts, emotions, and behaviors all influence one another. Oftentimes, one is more focused on than another, and they need to be aligned, or each one recognized in how they influence one another. So often it's called the CBT triangle, which I'm sure many of you have seen. Cognitions come into play when attitudes and assumptions get in the way of the desired changed behaviors. Another idea of this is schemas, which are core beliefs about yourself and the world. These core beliefs can be distorted, leading to inaccurate and dysfunctional conclusions, which affect emotions, which affect how we behave. So examining and changing these beliefs often will change emotions and behaviors that will follow. So how is this applied to family therapy? Well, in classical conditioning, what's often used is systematic desensitization, especially with sexual therapy, because most sexual dysfunctions are found to be a learned anxiety, which is something that can be unlearned. In operant conditioning and social learning, many of these techniques comes from this theory. When thinking in relationships, think about how can you maximize rewards and minimize costs by increasing positive behaviors and decreasing negative ones. Here's another example of what that might look like.